Hello, Just Feature. Welcome to the channel. Out here, Krasnoyarsk Airport, flying for Aeroflot today as Grantham CPT leaned out, rented out for the day to the corporate airlines. It is Friday, and going forward, I would like to introduce airliners on a Friday to the channel, so we have a little bit more specificity to the days that I stream. Anyway, we're out here, the 738. We were out here. And we're going to be taking her from Krasnoyarsk down to a place called Barnaul in So we're kind of in Siberia still. But it's unlikely anyone's heard of it. There are some very, very strange places there that in general most people haven't heard of. Graphically, just want to say something going forward. Since 12.4.1 updated a couple of days ago, the game has been super grainy compared to before and completely overexposed in terms of lighting. I'm not sure what they've done, but it seems to have made things worse visually. It's almost like VSync is stuck on permanently, so it's affecting the game. The performance on the GPU is also shot through the roof. That might just be the aircraft, to be fair, but I've noticed a performance GPU drop in some places. CPU is supposed to be improved. I have noticed that. But yeah, you can tell, and when I take a screenshot now, rather than having a normal exposed picture, it will be super overexposed, so it'll be super bright after taking a screenshot. And if I do that now for this plane, even though it's dark outside, and I paste it into a paint or something, it will be super bright. Anyway, we're here, we're out on the ramp. I can't wait to get the flight done. This is going to be a change of plans. Excuse me, if there's a change of plans, we'll be diverting because of the weather. That's the main consideration today, and we are expecting pretty much IFR, low visibility, cold conditions, as you would expect in Siberia. Let's just check out the engines quickly. So I think everything is clear. I just want to have a quick look inside to see what Level Up has done. So I still really appreciate Level Up's detail. They still are the best 737 by far. And you see down there that this is rated for ETOPS, and if you go into the cockpit, things are already sort of getting online for us to save a little bit of time. It was left in a sort of ready state by the previous pilots. They've left a few things on. They seem to have aligned the IRS again for us. Yeah, so very cool. Really good detailing. Fantastic layout. Much more interesting than the Zebo mod. The Zebo mod was decent, but this one takes it to a little bit more elegant to it. Takes it up a level. Literally leveling it up. Okay, back in. The one thing I would say is I don't think the TV's turned. I can't quite remember. In the cockpit we go. We are going to get in and ready. We're going to do the flight plan. So let's check. We have a... Here we go. We have a departure from Krasnoyarsk. If you can say that, that is in Barnaul. Mikhailovka, I think that is. And we have a total fuel delay of 56220. Let's go to the fuel page. Not customize the fuel weight and balance. We'll bring it up in the pop out so we can save a little bit of time there. So 6222. And of course it's in pounds, so it's not saved my settings again. That's a little bit of a pain, isn't it? We are category 3 rated. That was saved. I think there's some things there as well that are missing, like the cabin ready illumination. Right, let's go back to the beginning. Let's see it's back into inches on the Q&H settings as well. So that's could be a little bit of a pain going forward. I wonder why it isn't saving, or maybe the explain update really did change everything back to default. So yeah, hectopascals and kilograms, that's what we need. Then we can go back and save. And of course we can finally, I think, do the weight and balance. There we go. 0. And we have cargo, of course. Probably quite a lot today. Yeah, so 3,800. It's not the longest trip in the world. It's coming in about 2 hours, which is, I'd say, maybe standard, maybe an hour and a half. Probably not even that long. It is just the IFR rough conditions outside that we're concerned about. In terms of wind, I think the wind is, relatively calm for this sort of area. It's only at 10 knots now. So 152 people. It's a pretty popular route. You see there, the jetway's connected. We're going to wait now for the refuel. Ground services. Coal fuel truck. Okay, right, we can prep the plane a little bit. We have got IRS alignment. This saves a heck of a lot of time. Let's go down here and stick the waypoints in. Pause in its GPS left and paste it into the IRS position. And we wait, and it should be selected. So we go back to routes. It hasn't actually sent to the airport, to the FMC, which is fine. We're in Uniform November Kilo Lima, which is Krasnoyarsk. You think they'd have KR there for Krasnoyarsk, and then UNBB. That's the only reference there. We're actually going to Barnaul. The actual airport itself, as you can see, isn't even called that. And of course, we need the airport chart. So let's get UNKL up. Strange names, just strange names. I hope we are at the right airport. Krasnoyarsk tends to have a weird one. It's not actually called that, but you can see there, Krasnoyarsk ground is coming up, and I think we do have ATC. We've got a few. Bear in mind the real time here, guys. It's 10 to 8 in the evening, and thank you Level Up for putting the time in the Avi tab there. But it's 10 to 8. It's raining. It's IVAR conditions, and we got two prop planes. You got to respect it. You got to respect the simulation. Okay, QNH, we'll get it off of here, so that's live weather, I believe. So 1009er still hasn't changed over to hectopascals. Okay, 1009er, and we are synced over them minus the emergency. Oh, the emergency one is synced as well. R2 on the brakes, and to the flight plan, and departures. So we have a. Let's do it. Try and do it semi-realistically, shall we? We've got SIDS and we've got stars. So the standard instrument departures, and standard arrival procedures. So we got the Aprus 2 Foxtrot departure runway 29. If we check on the X-plane map here, there is actually 2 runways. So I don't know how to get there. I don't know if there's a taxiway, or that might actually be another airport. Yes, that is another airport. So we've got to be careful of the traffic here. Looks like we'll be taxiing down Alpha Bravo, Alpha Papa to Mike, and probably all the way down to the end if there's no ATC. Let's get it tuned in. There's a departure runway 29, the Emperor's 2 Foxtrot departure. Easy as that. And activate, execute, legs, arrivals. Let's just check the waypoints in between. So we've got 2 waypoints, possibly. The actual waypoint and the airways are there. We'll enter it in. So we go back to legs. After Apros, that's where we really want to enter it in. So that'll be the departure. I don't know why I won't let us enter it. Maybe I entered it the wrong way. You got to type it first, of course. So it's Kesed, Kesed. Paste that in. And now we can go over to the departure and arrivals page, and we can program in. So we're expecting 24 Nepka 2 Kilo. Let's find the arrival first. Okay, Nepka 2 Kilo. And then either those 24. So I usually leave this till we get to the airport, because there may be ATC, they may give us ILS, they may give us something else. But it looks like it would probably be an ILS. Possibly it could be an RDAV. Legs execute, and then we go back to legs, and of course we just want to check there's no brakes, and there is a brake there, so we'll connect the Nepka. Just post Kesed, and that's it, and then we'll just wait till we get there. So right, we could technically put the end airport there, but I'm not going to do that. Cruise today and cost index. This is important if you're in an airline, of course. So we got 11 on the cost index. Aeroflot is even cheaper, 38,000 feet. We'll go ahead and stick it in the MCP. Looks like the MCP is a little bit messed up as well. It's got not got standard settings on for a starting flight. Okay, quite high. We'll set the heading back to 0, and the course will be the runway, so we'll set that in a minute. Let's do flight directors on. Let's just check our LNAV will work. No, so probably because they've not got the whole flight programmed in. 380 the cruise. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt signs on. Just make sure everyone's boarding up. They should be coming on by now. By jetway, no doubt that the back door will be open and they'll be trying to send them in that way. Yeah, so there we go. Even though it's not open, the stairs are there. They're also misaligned, which is unfortunate. Don't know how to get rid of that. We should have automatic settings, so if we take the brake off and put the beacon on, the chocks will be removed. Right, 29, so we have a course of 290. That's going to be our initial one after departure. We'll check with the chart, say it may be something different. Well, we set the head in that way as well. Let's just do a few checks before we get the AP on ground. We don't know what we're going to be squawking, so it'll be a random test, random code today. Okay, there, good. The reason I'm checking that, we haven't actually got the AP on, we're on ground power at the moment. I think that's everything up there. Let's do the stall one. So the stall one is still not working with the ground power on. I've had it charging now for quite a bit. Okay, there's the captains. It takes a while. And the co-pilot. So that's a pass. Just doing a quick light test. We should really do some of this before we start, but you can do it when you've got the ground power on. Okay, everything's good. We do the enunciation recall as well. That's these things here. And I wasn't under the impression you could push them, but obviously I learned you could, and it saved so much hassle. It's so much fun in an actual, real, you know, the big 737 sims they use to train pilots. They're absolutely incredible. The physicality is what really immerses me. Anyway, going back, we're kind of getting distracted here. We do need, excuse me, the departure charts. Are now runway 29, standard route instrument departures, SIDS for runway 29, VFR departures. In fact, where are those little planes? Are they still there? Yes, they are. So it could be in runway 29, let's just select that. So you have a few frequencies there. This is classic Russian standard charts. I say that because they're still a little bit more complicated than you would expect. It's not very easy to find information if you need it. I say that, but I'm talking about from the point of view of a beginner. If you're new to this, you would probably feel very overwhelmed, so I always recommend starting in an easier country with some simpler charts. So we have a lot of things here to consider. Let's go back to our actual chart and let's get that departure again. Empress 2 Foxtrot. And there's the Empress 2 Bravo. So that tells me we're probably not going to be on that chart. Let's go back up. Never 29. So there we go. Empress 2 Foxtrot. That was pretty simple for me. So flight 9090 or above. So we're going to be climbing straight out that left-hand turn. So course of 289, even though the charts are giving us 290. And then we'll be climbing and heading down there. That's pretty simple, really. Let's get the ground chart up. Ground movement, aircraft docking chart, all very useful for when you land. So as you can see there, it's actually pretty simple. Very small runway, I have to say. It's a lot smaller than I was hoping for. We probably have to go for maximum thrust. Anyway, yeah, it'd be down Mike, holding point Mike 1 probably. And that's it. We get back over here. The pack should be on board. We want our anti-collision, which is our beacon. We have got our logo light on today. We want the minimums to be set, so we're going to set 1,000 feet here. That should be barometric, I think. Yeah, so we go to 1,000 to be about 1,800 feet. You can always set it slightly higher if you want to. I think the minimum rule there is 1,000 feet above ground level. And that's sort of the point we could turn the autopilot on of things. LNAV's coming online, VNAV's not coming online. We've got to finish this down here. So we can change the max rate or max angle. Let's go for maybe max rate would be better. And then we could just do the performance page. So routes, performance initialization. Make sure everybody's on board before you do it. Otherwise you're going to have to redo it. So they're not on board, we have to wait for them. Throttle's in idle, cut off. Let's get the squawk code in.
TCAS test pass.
That's good. So 3671. Could get 80s clearance, so clearance from tower. They have got approach on, UNKL approach and UKNL 80s. 1268. Okay, just release parking brake by accident.
Acknowledge ATIS information Papa.
You see there, the chocks have been removed. Information Papa, that's good.
Amelia ATIS information Papa. 0630 Zulu expect ILS Zulu approach runway 29 dry friction coefficient unknown departure runway 29. Transition level 90 bird strike hazard in vicinity of aerodrome weather.
Okay, we got birds.
0 degrees 8 meters per second. Cav OK. Temperature 4. Dew point -5 QNH 1018 no significant changes.
1018.
Acknowledge ATIS information Papa.
ATIS information Papa. We will do it. We're in stand 1
ATIS
Bravo, that was
information
easy.
Papa.
Right there in front of us, thank
0630
goodness.
Zulu expect ILS Zulu approach runway friction coefficient unknown departure runway 29. Transition level 90 bird strike hazard in vicinity of aerodrome weather. Wind 280 degrees 8 meters per second. Cav OK. Temperature 4. Dew point -5 QNH 1018 no significant changes. Acknowledge ATIS information Papa.
So we can either contact the approach, or we could see, I always get sometimes mixed up with this, because usually we'd contact the nearest controller if it's controlling your airport and region, but sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you only have to contact them once you've departed. So what we're going to do is we're going to play it extra safe today. We have got at least people here at UNKL transitioning the airspace. We've actually got just me departing today. There are other planes parked here. Okay, 122.0.
Expect ILS Zulu approach runway 29 dry friction coefficient unknown departure runway.
Let's tune into the approach. Okay, brilliant. So we are going to get clearance from the approach. As I suspected, that is usually the case. Okay, brilliant. Let's do it then. Information Papa on board. Krasnoyarsk approach. Good evening. Aeroflot 292 parked at stand 1 Bravo with information Papa. Request departure clearance. IFR clearance to Barnaul.
Krasnoyarsk radar, good evening, clear to Barnaul is filed, runway 29 and use, approach to Foxtrot, departure initial climb 6,000 feet, squawk 5302, correction 20.
6,000 feet initially, 5320. Aeroflot 292 cleared to Barnaul via the Apras to Foxtrot departure, runway 29, initial altitude 6,000 feet, squawk 5320.
Feedback is correct.
Brilliant. I actually feel I felt like that readback was pretty good for me, to be honest. I haven't done a readback like that for a while, so it's good to know I still got it. Right, let's squawk, so we don't have to squawk random now. We got 5320, and I'm glad I remember the departure, the Apras 2 Foxtrot. Runway 29, and we got the heading set. 6,000 feet will be initial, so we're going to change that. And we'll see what it gives us on departures. He might say after departure, you know, when we contact him, climb straight up to 38,000 feet.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Okay, brilliant. We got clearance. That means we'll have to contact him for the departure clearance as well, i.e. for takeoff. Right, we just put in a number here. I can't be bothered looking at the reserves, to be honest. Cost index was 11. Okay, we can put this in, so we can get this off of the charts. Let's get it off of the charts. Avitab. Top of climb, outside air temperature and top of climb, like winds and things. So we got 38,000 minus 62. And then cruise winds are going to be 327 at 080. Absolutely fantastic. And then that's as simple as that. Plan fuel is still empty because we're not clicked on it. We're not really putting anything in there. I think it was 6.2, wasn't it? 6.2 will be enough. Right, can't change it. Oh well. Again, maximum rate. It's going to need it in this kind of weather, and we're also quite heavy today. Outside air temperature is giving us 6. That's pretty warm actually for Krasnoyarsk and just Siberia in general. Flaps, of course, standard flaps on 5. Trim is 4.5%. So a little bit of a nose down trim today. And then we have a rotation speed. So 139. You can change things here, but I've noticed if you do change these conditions for runway, wind, etc., sometimes you can't enter the data for the takeoff speeds. Something will cause it to go wrong. So we have a 139. What we're going to do then is it'll probably set it itself if we click auto throttle on. Or maybe not. We're going to set 139 as a speed, because that's the rotation speed. And 147. In fact, you know what? Let's just put 147 in, and we'll add a few knots on. So we'll add 10 knots onto that, and that'll be the safe climb out speed. Now we can enter the VNAV. Now we can arm the auto throttle, but we don't need it on just yet. We are going to get push and start. We're expecting the runway. We're expecting runway 29er, so we'll be pushing back. I think this is Bravo, and then that says Alpha. I can't remember if it's Alpha Papa. Go back to UNKL, we can find the ground movement charts. That might be a bit better. Yeah, so there we go. A bit more of a precise one. So Tango 3, or Terminal 3, I think that is, from Bravo. We can see we're in Bravo 1, Bravo there. So we'll be back. Let's just see what it gives us, and we'll see what the information ATIS is still.
Departure runway 29. Transition level 90 bird. Strike hazard in vicinity of aerodrome weather. Wind 280 degrees 8 meters per second. Cab OK. Temperature 4. Dew point -5 QNH 1018. No significant changes. Acknowledge this information, Papa.
So still information, Papa. That's pretty important, I'd say, for departure. APU's coming online. Let's do this before we disconnect. Where is the APU?
Повторите, пожалуйста, у вас прервалось что-то.
НР 10-20 круг опознан. Снижайтесь по СИД. Поправка по старт. 3000 футов. Разрешаю ИЛС Зулу. Заход ВПП-29. Заход курсовой доложится. QNH 10-09 гектопаскаль.
Ранее 10-20. Снижаемся по старт 3000 футов. QNH 10-09. Снижаемся по старт. Захват ИЛС Зулу доложен. Захват курсового также должен.
10-20 повторите. Разрешил ИЛС Зулу заход ВПП-29.
Разрешение ИЛС Зулу заход.
Sorry guys, we're just waiting for the APU now, and then we'll get clearance for taxi. Let's set our altitude here, 38,000 on the pressurization. We are quite high up, we're about 800 feet, so we could crank this up a little bit more, even though that's not a landing altitude just yet. Okay, trim air's on. It is going to be colder today, so we might want to, for example, crank the temperature up a little bit. APU's online, get the APU blue there on. So show us the APU power. Now we're ready for push and start officially, so we can disconnect GPU. Aeroflot 292, information Papa stand 1 Bravo, ready for push and start.
Aeroflot 292, set squawk mode Charlie, push and start approved, of beam stand 4.
Push and start approved, squawk mode Charlie, Aeroflot 292.
Aeroflot 292, please confirm push and start approved of beam stand 4.
Push and start for stand 1 Bravo to Aeroflot 292. I think he might, maybe there's a contradictory information going on here, so sometimes there's a mismatch between charts and the actual airport layout, which I always find pretty strange. I did give him the stand though first, but he kept saying 4 as if we were in number 4, which is right over there. I need to be a bit more clear, I think, just because of the language. Sometimes there's a language barrier, sometimes there's an accent barrier as well. Anyway, we are squawking mode Charlie now, so we can officially get going. You can put altitude on or altitude off. Altitude off is still mode Charlie, but yeah, you know what I mean, guys. Let's go. Push start approved. Let's do the that's a pushback. Can't see a thing. Absolutely fantastic. New version available as well. Well, we'll have to guess. I think that's the line there. I genuinely can't see it. It's so foggy.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledge. Can we choose the menu when you are ready?
Right, we are ready.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is diving up.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
The cabin is secured. Let's go ahead and get the engine started. Go for a left engine first. APU bleed air should be on. Engine coming alive, so that's 10%.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking bay.
Красноярск, текст 122, подтвердите, QNH 1018 по IT с Папа. Последний вызывающий только позывной, повторите. Олимпик 122. Олимпик 122, QNH 1009 гектопаскалей. QNH 1009 гектопаскалей, спасибо. Разрешите предварительный ВПП 29 готово от Чарли взлетать.
What's going on with the pushback here? He's not connecting to us.
Для захода вправо курс 020, радиус 3000.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
3000 футов вправо, курс 020.
Олимпик 122, разрешаю предварительный по 29, вправо по перрону, Танго 2, РД Чарли. Разрешили предварительный по 29, вправо по перрону, Танго 2, РД Чарли, Олимпик 122.
Yes, I think there's something going on here, possibly with markings. We'll have to take account of that. We're going to pre-plan for obviously the Tango terminal down to Mike 1 for 29er. Awful weather outside. Let's check the window wipers.
Ready, parking brake. Starting pushback.
Window wipers are functional. I think window wipers are actually an essential item on these airliners, which is odd. So I guess you'd still need them in IFR conditions. Switch over to the engine generators. Let's go ahead and crank the isolation to auto, packs to on. Just wait for the pressure to stabilise there. So dual bleed is on, we can actually turn APU off, so it's pretty low pressure still. And APU can get switched off at this point already. So it's on for a really minimal amount of time. And that's what we want. We want a
Ryder 10-20, вправо курс 110.
Вправо, курс 110.
10-20, скорость 250 узлов.
Районе 10-20, скорость 250.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting valve. Please stand by.
Красноярск, добрый вечер. Аэрофлот 346, проверка связи.
Aeroflot 346, круг, добрый вечер, на 2 вас слышу очень тихо.
There he goes, a 172. Good luck to him. I think he might be using real world time and weather as well.
Рудder 314, разрешите предварительный, можем летать от Дельта, полоса 29.
Вайпер 314, подключите от РД Чарли. Вам удобно будет? Тора 791 метр.
Нет, ну все-таки лучше от Дельта, Рудder 314.
Вайпер 314 понял, разрешаю проверить П-29, право по перрону, Танго 2, Танго 1, РД Дельта.
Now is disconnected by parking right. We'll see you next time.
Вайпер 314, разрешаю проверить
Flap checks, good.
право по перрону, Танго 2, Танго 1, РД Дельта.
Yeah, it is Papa.
Разрешили предварительный ВП-29, право по перрону, Танго 2, Танго 1, РД Дельта, Рудder 314.
Good that they're multilingual controllers.
122, ВП-29 занимается исполнительный, разрешаю взлет, ветер 290 градусов, 7 метров в секунду.
Разрешили исполнительный взлет ВП-29 Олимпик 122.
Ранейр 10-20, вправо, курс 200.
We're going down Tango 3
Курс 200.
to Mike.
Ранейр 10-20, скорость 220 узлов.
Скорость 220 узлов.
A lot of traffic here now as well. It's good. It's picking up a little bit.
Свердловский 10-05, круг, добрый вечер, экипажа, опознанный по старости, не 4000 футов, разрешаю ил созволу захода ВП-29, QNH 10-10 мегапаскалей.
По старт снижаемся 4000 футов, заход ил ЗОУ ВП-29 разрешили, QNH 10-10, Свердловский 10-05.
И Свердловский 10-05, скорость 220 узлов.
Taxi lights on.
220 узлов выдерживаем, Свердловский 10-05.
Ранейр 10-10, повторите, скорость 220 узлов выдерживаете. По моей информации 240 вы идете.
10-20 подтверждаю, скорость 220.
Aeroflot 292, request taxi.
Aeroflot 292, taxi to holding point runway 29, via Tango 3, Mike.
0.29 via Tango 3 and Mike, Aeroflot 292. Okay, brilliant. So it is Tango 3, so Mike, it's going to be pretty good.
Ранейр 10-20, вправо, курс 260, разрешаю ил созволу захода ВП-29.
Ранее 10-20, курс... Повторите курс.
Ранейр 10-20, вправо, курс 260, разрешаю ил Сузулу захода ВП-29.
Ранее 10-20, вправо, курс 260, разрешили ил захода в ВП-29.
Олимпик 122, круг опознанный, выполняйте первый разворот.
Выполняем первый разворот, Олимпик 122.
Олимпик 122, готовность ко второму доложите.
Готовность ко второму доложим, Олимпик 122.
Okay, we have got over traffic. Let's be cautious here. We had a 172 before. We looked like we were pretty clear though. We could just carry on down the old line.
10-20, скорость 200 узлов.
Ранее 10-20, скорость 200 узлов.
There's a huge dip in the taxiway there. I think this is the airport that looks like a little bit like a roller coaster. Look at that. It's into the abyss and then up a hill. I hope we're not going to crash if we go down it.
Вайпер 314, пропустили РД Танго 2, рулите перрон, Танго 3, Дельта.
Okay, brake check's good.
Рулим перрон, Танго 3, Дельта, Рудder 314.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a tricky one. Look at that. That's like a 90-degree drop or something.
Ранее 10-20, курсовой захватили.
Holy.
Ранейр 10-20, ВП-29, посадку разрешаю, ветер 290 градусов, 7 метров в секунду.
That can't be normal, can it?
10-20, скорость 180 узлов до 6 мили.
Скорость 180 узлов.
Ранее 10-20, повторите до 6 мили.
До 6 мили, ранее 10-20.
Blimey, there's another one there. Come on, Lavendar, this is not realistic.
Да, разрешите вылет согласно полетному плану в Новосибирск.
Aeroflot 346, разрешаем в Новосибирск, работе ВП-29, опрос 2
Let's get the departure chart on for the
1000 футов, сквок 53-24, антисхронц Альфа.
that was 2 Foxtrots. It just carries on like slope after slope. I really hope the runway isn't like that.
Аэропорт Новосибирска разрешен согласно плану. В работе ВПП-29 выходим по схеме опору 2 Фокстер. Первоначальный набор 6000 фунтов. Код ответчика 5324. Информация Альфа на борту.
Aeroflot 346, понял правильно.
Линкер 122, готово ко второму.
Олимпик 122, пока что ждем.
Принято, ожидаем.
There's 3 of them. There's more. Could take us a while. We probably need to get extra fuel for this one. Laminar, come on, you have to fix Krasnoyarsk taxiways. Almost as bad. Just absolutely bizarre. Everyone start the petition now. Get the votes in. Most important thing for the next update.
Освобождение порта Чарли рассчитываю.
We're even going to get up the hill, that's the question. It looks like he's going to stop.
Олимпик 122, выполняйте второй.
Выполняем второй. Олимпик 122.
And I think she's stabilising a little bit. So in weather conditions like this, rainy and a little bit wet on the ground, usually you wouldn't go past 15 on the ground speed.
Квадрат 314, ожидаем пока что трафику.
Ожидаем квадрат 14.
Аэрофлот 346, стоянка 33, разрешите буксировку запуска.
Aeroflot 346, выталкивание носом на восток и запуск разрешаем.
Let's get our wing lights on.
Выталкивание носом на восток.
The 10 button. Turn out. Actually, no, we'll just do landing lights. We need to get our flaps to 5. We got our transponder on. I'll put the auto throttle on now and the transponder to TARA. Save us a little bit before we get in the air. Same, we got a traffic coming inbound to land 2,000 feet above us. Right now, 1020.
Заход курсового доложите, рассчитывайте освобождение на РД Чарли.
Курсовой захватили, рассчитываем освобождение на Чарли, Свердловский 10-05.
Aeroflot 10-05, ВПП-29, продолжается заход, вы номер 2.
Свердловский 10-05, заход продолжаем, номер 2.
Свердловский 10-05, скорость 180 узлов до 6 мили.
Okay, flaps to 5.
Свердловский 10-05.
Strobes coming on. Here's 29 Mike 1. Strobes are good. We've pressed the A10 button for them to secure the cabin. We can now turn some of these lights off, so we can probably turn that off before we taxi. And pitot heats, of course, come on. We may need anti-ice on the engines before takeoff here, so it's saying it's 5 degrees. So I reckon we probably will. As soon as we get in the air, just switch them on. Right now, touchdown. It was that bad of visibility I couldn't even see him. There he goes, down the runway. We might as well wait a little bit because he's going to tell us to line up and wait otherwise, so we'll wait for them to clear down. You see there, he's going to take possibly Charlie or Bravo right to the end. Aeroflot 292, holding point Mike, runway 29, ready for departure.
Aeroflot 2 number 2, standby, traffic on final.
Okay, brilliant. So there is someone else on final there. We've got an aircraft on the runway.
10-20, освобождаем полосу по Чарли.
Ромеро 10-20, добро пожаловать в Красноярск, освобождение по РД Чарли, стоянка по выбору экипажа по РД Чарли, Альфа Браво, перрону.
The temperature of the cabin's nice and warm now, about 30 degrees.
Стоянка по выбору экипажа по РД, по перрону РД Чарли.
Ромеро 10-20, ошибка по Чарли, Альфа Браво, перрону.
По Чарли, Браво, перрону.
Свердловский 10-05, ВВП 29, посадку разрешаю, ветер 290 градусов, 7 метров в секунду.
ВВП 29, посадку разрешили, Свердловский 10-05.
Аэрофлот 346, разрешите предварительный ВПП 29.
Аэрофлот 346, разрешаю предварительный П-29, по перрону Танго 3, РД Майк.
So he's requesting taxis. It's nice and busy today, Krasnoyarsk. I'll fly back here in the future. We'll come down here as our region-specific airline. He's doing good on ATC. We've got ATC on the approach until departure, obviously, and then he'll probably be over to the Honeycomb. Doesn't look like Barnaul has any traffic or ATC, but if we were to keep going back east, it looks like they had at some point Siberia and ATC. And they've got some down at Irkutsk as well. Pretty busy though for a Friday in the afternoon. Romania's ATC, Serbia. Probably the time to hop online if you're going to. Okay, it should be there any second now. Final.
Заканчивается работа, прослушивайте частоту 122,8. All station, radar is closing, monitor advisory, I want to do decimal. Услышимся в эфире через 35 минут.
Well,
10-20, спасибо за контроль, всего хорошо.
It happens, doesn't it? Oh man, we didn't get our takeoff clearance. Oh well. Thank you for the ATC to the guy, he did a good job. I guess we'll just take off after this area is on final. We'll take off after this guy lands. That's unfortunate. Oh well. There he goes. He's a bit high up. We're gonna line up and wait. Let's switch over to the Unicom. Krasnoyarsk traffic, Aeroflot 292, lining up runway 29er. I hope they all speak English, because I can't say this in the old Ruski. We'll get lined up and waiting, otherwise we're going to be running out of fuel. We need to get going soon. We've spent quite a lot of time, almost an hour, just to get off the air, but that's just what you expect from busy airports. Pretty normal actually for these kind of operations. We'll have to wait, not only for him to clear, but probably for the turbulence to clear as well. I.e. the weight turbulence from the engines. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It is just gone 8:30 in the evening in Krasnoyarsk, and we're expecting about an hour there to Barnaul. I'm going to keep checking the map. He is still on the runway, so we'll keep holding short. You can see down there, he's still not cleared. He's going to go all the way to the end. We're ready though, we'll keep our thrust. Forward. We have got our landing lights on. Taxi lights off. The 10 button, the strobes are on, the flaps are set. Transponders TARA. Controls are already free and correct. Aeroflot 292, departure runway 29 at UNKL 2 Foxtrot departure. Let's get going. I don't know if I said that right, the UNKL 2 Foxtrot. It's the APRA's 2 Foxtrot, so they've probably got no idea what I mean. 40%, we're all good, let's give her a toga. Airspeed is alive. Rough conditions, 80 knots cross jet. Stabilised. 120.
B1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Positive rate, gears coming up. Let's get the yaw damper on, that would help.
400.
Traffic.
Traffic? Alright, that'll be on the runway, everybody, that's fine. On the ground, that concerned me a little bit then. Struggling though, really severe departure. We'll keep it steady, we'll keep climbing. 1,000 feet, so we're going to bring the flaps up to 1. Proper IFR conditions in deep Siberia, you gotta love it. And as I say, we're going to set the anti-eyes on pretty much straight away.
Sink rate. Don't sink.
We got, it feels like wind shear there because it was pushing us down. Very, very similar, it can do that to you. Okay, we should be climbing, we should be stabilised. Let's go for the autopilot. Yeah, pushing us all around on that. Can't even see the departure. Holy. Flaps should be up. Gear can probably come to neutralise. We're going to turn the ignition to normal. Landing lights can stay on. Seatbelt signs are definitely staying on in these conditions. We are going 4,000, so 6,000 initial. Now the ATC is offline. That usually means you cleared up to cruise level, so we'll continue climbing to 380. APRA's 2 Foxtrot departure. Okay, autopilot's struggling a little bit. Don't know what's going on with it. Keeps tilting us a little bit too far. Keeps tilting to the left hand side. Have we got a failure on the ailerons or something? Let's go standard pressure. Right flap 1 lock. Right, well we're fixing that. We ain't gonna fly with a flap lock. Jesus. I thought today was going to be a smooth departure. It went well on the ground, but in the air the plane's failing. We had a right flap lock. No wonder we were tilting upwards. Right, we are speeding and we are almost crashing. Well, we ain't going to do with a failure, so we'll just keep carrying on without it. Let's go ahead and neutralise our gear at 10,000 feet. We should be able to turn the seatbelt signs off soon as well. And it's still banking to the left hand side. We've not got another failure, have we? Well, this is difficult. At least we're coming out of the lowered clouds now and en route. So we should be going directly to APRA's, but it's, as I say, banking to the left. So let's go level nav again, an autopilot. I don't mind random failures, but when it causes a flight that's been on the ground for an hour to then have to turn back immediately, it kind of ruins it a little bit. So today we won't bother with them. As you can see there, turning it off, and we're also just in general having a struggle on this departure. Really rough weather, really harsh on the Aeroflot 292, but she's handling it well. Check the pressurization. So pressurization is good. We should be pressurizing to 38,000 equivalent, maybe between 6,000 and 7,000 feet. We could probably turn the logo light off, and the wing lights can stay on. So if we go in the cabin, or we can see from the cockpit here, you can see they're still on. It illuminates the wings. It's actually a really good view. This preset it. It gives you the view of the wings and the lights and stuff. RTO should be off too. Okay, so that's the departure we're on it at the moment. That was absolutely insane. I didn't think it would be that difficult. From there, only from there to there, things were going very, very wrong. So there's average to function at 9,000 feet or above. Well, we're well above that now. And we don't need that anymore at this point. Or the Krasnoyarsk maps or charts, which are really, really accurate, by the way. So if we look at the map, as you can see there, we've got tons of departures. We've got people coming into land, we've got people taking off. There it is, there it is. So we're coming out, and I think the flaps locked at that point because we were retracting them. And then obviously we had to do a little bit of correction ourselves. Alright, down south we go, down to Barnaul. One of the most depressing cities, apparently. I don't believe it though. I think Barnaul's probably got its upsides at least. Okay, good. We got aerodrome obstacle chart. We haven't had a bird strike, which is decent. Hey, they go minimal altitude. Excuse me, minimal altitude for the aircraft. We have a 111.8. We're going to tune this in. So we'll do that to probably to nav 2. Decimal 8. And then we should be able to see it on VOR down here. So we check the ADFs, etc. It will come alive when we're a little bit closer. So we're not preempted at the arrival yet. We're still waiting on information if there's ATC. There probably won't be, but we'll wait a little bit longer just in case. Is the oxygen mask on there? I can't see if it is. Let's go on click regions. Oh, it is there. Oh no, it's there. So click that. I think that puts it on. Click it off. Right. We'll remember that. So one is to store. There, stabilizer, absolutely fantastic. Sun, even in sunset, has been beautiful. We're just starting up on the ground and really taking our time with the 738. And as I say, the channel going forward, we've got our corporate stuff, we've got our GA stuff, but we don't do a lot of airline stuff anymore, despite only being a channel for a year or so. So Fridays from now on will probably be airline related. I hope you all are looking forward to it. Finally passed our departure, now we continue on. There's top of climb and top of descent. So we've only got the one waypoint, which is Kesed, in between. It's just great to see like routes like this, and then of course we're back down 8,000 feet for the arrival. Look at the window, 102. Our cruise climbs were something like 60. That's really quite above what we're expecting. So performance wise is 100% affected. Look how busy this airport was. There's still tons of planes going out of it. Anyway guys, sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. Suppose we should check the arrival weather here. So we have Barnaul, just to get the cruise level again. Make sure we're at the right level. It does say 380, it just seems to be struggling on the climb here, so we're not even at 30,000, and it seems like she's not got enough power. Anyway, we'll go back to the arrival. I want to get the weather off the flight plan today. So we go there, we go top of climb, that can kind of give us information. So saying top of climb is less, I don't get that, less winds than it is at the current level. So we're probably going to, it might be stronger. It might be just generally inaccurate. And then of course you got descent, top of descent, which is so Kesed is the point we're coming up to, and then that'll be the point of descent. 737-380. We could adjust our cruise here and cruise at a 340, for example. Then we have this really useful page, runway analysis, which will give you the weather. So QNH was a little bit off, it was 1008. Bleeds on wet runway, engine anti-ice, so we didn't do the engine ice on before takeoff, and that's because I wanted the extra performance. Although it probably doesn't make it too much of a difference. So we're coming in to land, we have 7 degrees outside, that's not too bad. It was 5 at Barnaul, excuse me, at Krasnoyarsk, so 7 degrees at Barnaul, 1018, so it's higher pressure, warmer. But then again, Barnaul, even though it's still very much a cold place, it is getting further down to the south and towards the Black Sea area, even though it's still hundreds of miles away. You get what I mean, the more south you go, the hotter it's going to get anyway, and also the higher up. So runway 24, we're looking for an ILS, probably an ILS I suspect, so 108.7. And we'll tune this basically to, as I say, preempt things and just be on top of it a little bit. And then if you want anything else like landing, factor in the landing stuff, you know, flaps 30 rather than 40 degrees. Max manual braking. This will give you the VREF there. I don't think it's going to give us a speed reference. So obviously the landing distance will reduce if we've going a little bit slower, but we'll do 30 degrees anyway. It is saying it's Cavok 7, QNH 1018. You know, there's nothing there that's coming up that's out of the ordinary, and weather was a big part of today's route, as you can see. Not only that, but the fact that we're flying at night as well. Looks like the Krasnoyarsk tower just come back online actually, so they've now got ground, tower, and it's booked in at least. Approach is booked in, and Krasnoyarsk approach, yeah, so it's all booked in, and we're currently in. We are in an airspace. Okay, so they've got airspace coverage from Novosibirsk control. We're currently in Krasnoyarsk control, but it's not. Again, it's booked in from 2 to 5, but nobody's here. So we'll have to wait and see if they hop online. That would be good though, if they do. So Krasnoyarsk and Barnaul and Novosibirsk share the same region. Both are within Siberia. It's interesting actually, when we had that flap, I just realised when we had the flap failure, I'm pretty sure that it still said it retracted symmetrically, so surely if there was a flap lock on one side, i.e. the right side, it would have stayed one up and then one across. That was very interesting. So if we wanted to balance things out, what we really needed to do was actually extend the flaps a little bit, because then it would have brought the left side down to the same level. Okay, so 2-4 precision approach category 1 lighting system. We might be approved for category 3, but the airport's only approved for category 1 approaches. . So here's Zulu in case we're doing this one. We probably will. ILS Zulu runway 24. Lots of information, lots of complications here. So we've got the 118 tuned in. The 1118. We have the ILS 11. We have 108.7, so we cross-check that with the charts. Sometimes, but not always, it may be different on X-Plane 12. It's not always accurate. So we want the course. So the course is actually very similar, so it's a 240. And we'll set that on both sides. Radio minimums. (2,800 feet), then down to final for the glide slope at 2,400. Nepka 2 kilo, so this is this approach over here, coming in from the north, 8,000 feet or above. Just look at that, so we'll transition there from the arrival into this approach here from this angle, and then it'll be it's basically like a base leg turn there, almost like a circuit onto final approach. And we're at 36,000 at last. We probably won't get up to 38 before we have to descend. Let's see how long we got actually. Top climb. Actually, we still got good time there. some of you keen-eyed people, apologise if you can hear noise in the background, but got to mute the mic. Yeah, keen-eyed people, well done. The VOR there has just come alive. Number 2, for the airports at Barnaul Airport, only 62 miles from Casted. We can't really do much preparation. I really hope that ACC comes online. They have their slot booked in. Anyway, we need to preempt the RLS. We haven't actually programmed it in yet. So arrival. Now we're going to do the Zulu. That's the time we're on. We have transitions, so if we check the charts, BB 007 or 008. Usually it will be on the arrivals or on the approach chart. So there we are, we're coming down Nepcut to Kilo. I can't see a... Ah, there we go, BB 007 will be the transition then. Execute route. A bit of a discontinuity. As you can see there, it's filled in the altitudes, it's filled in the speeds as expected. Okay, we completed the cruise checklist, climb and cruise. We have an ILS checklist. So this is new, so I've collected the detailed checklist, or said the detailed checklist on the D settings. But yeah, it just seemed new since the last time I checked this out. They've got more options here, so you can do different kind of checklists depending on different kind of approaches, which is really cool. And then of course, descent we'll do next. So we just did our recall then on the panel. Landing altitude are verified. Again, we can verify that on the charts. So that will be on the airport chart list somewhere. Or maybe it won't. $835 feet, so I was right, it is pretty high up still. Good thing I set it to that. We'll set it to 850 then. Of course we're chasing the sun, so we might be able to get there in the daytime, a little bit lighter at least. Okay, so Nova Siberia's controls now online. 127000, brilliant.
Новосибирск контроль. Вечер добрый, Red 1525, эшелон 350, курс на Ламир.
Got my notepad still. I am using my notepad today, guys. We're not actually going there, but we're currently going through the airspace. Nova Siberia's control, good evening. Aeroflot 292, review flight level 380.
Route 292, Nashers control, good evening, squawk 5233.
5233 Aeroflot 292. Okay, he's giving us a different squawk code. That's interesting. I don't think I ever had that happen before, but there's always a first time for everything. There's probably going to be no traffic at Barnaul, as I say, it's just at UNTT. I guess that's a good alternate airport, actually, if we need to divert.
Опознан, сохраняйте эшелон 350. Схему прибытия рассчитывайте. Рипни 1 Фокстрот, заход Илса Зулов, ВПВ-20.
Храним эшелон 350, рассчитываем полосу 20, АЛС. Рипни 1 Фокстрот, прибытие Редвинкс 1525.
Our official alternate, if you are interested, is it's not there. Alternate routes? Oh, it is UNTT. What am I talking about? There is an alternate. I thought it was somewhere else, but it's an alternate on UNTT. That's interesting. It was somewhere down south I had on mine.
TF-50-06 опознан, сохраняйте эшелон 350. Рассчитывайте схему прибытия Ламга 1 кило, ВПП-25.
Приняли, рассчитываем Ламга 1 кило, ВПП-25, Сибирь 56.
Route 292, identified, maintain flight level 380, expect Netka 2 kilo arrival, runway 24.
Maintain flight level 380, expect the Nepka 2 kilo arrival, runway 24, Aeroflot 292. Brilliant, so Nepka 2 kilo, he's just giving us confirmation, runway 24. We have, again, programmed Zulu, but now we've programmed ILS Zulu ATC's here, so he might give us something else. It's always interesting to see it. Let's just write a note down of the... So we're squawking 5233 now. That means he's probably going to give us guidance all the way down to the ground.
Рот 1553, разносишь контроль, здравствуйте, склоп 52, 35.
52, 35, устанавливаем Aeroflot 1553.
Route 292, proceed to direct Bravo Bravo 006, when ready, descent to flight level 190. Route 292, proceed to direct Bravo Bravo 006, when ready, descent to flight level 180.
Airflight 292, proceed direct to Bravo Bravo 006, descent to 180, Airflight 292.
When ready.
Okay, so we have, apologies about that, a little bit distracted.
When ready to flight level 180.
Descend when ready to 180, Airflight 292. Yeah, so apologies, got distracted. I was looking at the UNNT site here on VATSIM. It's actually really detailed about the airport. Right, we're going to get ready to descend then. We'll get some stuff set up. So he's given us 006 and we don't have that, so we'll have to go to let's just check the chart again. So 00. Ah, there it is. So 006.
Aeroflot 1553, набираем эшелон 300.
And we'll descend now, so we'll do a vertical speed mode.
Точку
I have to pay attention to the radio. I get distracted sometimes very easily.
Пики доложим.
1800 feet a minute will be fine.
Sweden 348, continue descent to flight level 150, contact Krasnoyarsk approach 127.5, okay?
Siberia 384, descent to flight level 150 and contact Krasnoyarsk approach 127.5, okay?
Okay, landing altitude verified. System enunciation recall complete. Approach reference speed 140. So we're going to 30 degrees of flaps. So 30 over 152. That'll be our reference speed. Radio barons to 200 feet.
Identified, maintain throttle 360. Expect big yield 1 kilo arrival runway 25.
Just keep it. Yeah, power still needed on the descent. I expected it would be.
1 kilo runway 25, Siberia Airlines flight 784.
Now radio is, so we're tuned in, we have got the VOR coming up and we've got the ILS tuned in case. Auto brake, so we're going to do a 2 on auto brake. And we're doing manual braking as well. Just keep getting the trip reset here on the air conditioning. What we're going to do is stick the taxi to high mode. Yeah, still tripping out. So you got no visibility. Oh, there's the air conditioning again. I hope it doesn't keep tripping out. I don't know if this is a real tendency on when you're on a real airliner, but I can't imagine it is. It trips out well too easily. Extremely easily. And you have to constantly reset it. If that is a real feature and it really does that in real life, then let me know. It'd be interesting to see. I've never had it happen. I don't think it happens in real life. You would hear it. It's a pretty loud alarm. Proximity flap, so we'll inhibit those on landing. What else do we need to do? So it's tripped out again. We have got packs on high there just to keep the air coming through the engines, but the pressure is good, so there's no obvious cause for it. And again, it's tripped off again. Unless we need to descend a little bit quicker, so let's try 2,500 feet a minute. It is a pain getting this to work. There's something I'm doing wrong, I think. It might be the descent rate. It might be something else. Anyway, 2,500 down to 18,000. And talking about ATC, if we can get over the alarm, how do we silence that? There we go. So ATC, they got UNNT for Novosibirsk control. That's just general region control. Then they've got a Novosibirsk approach and Novosibirsk radar. So they got sort of 3 different levels of contact here for this airport, and it just shows you how much of a big airport it is. It's like the Novosibirsk train station we went through. That looks beautiful, but the airport is also just the same. It's absolutely gigantic. 2 gigantic runways and tons of daily traffic. Looks like it's going to be a straight in. Well, I say straight in, but it's quite close. We'll inhibit the passenger signs, and the signs were on the whole time, which is fair enough. People can still walk about. That's 10,000 feet transition altitude. Let's just probably get it off the ATC, but I think it's 1018 still. Oh, hang on, we're getting a ATIS information for UNBB now. This is good. Barnaul Airport. Well, we've now got ATC, so I'm going to tune the ATIS in for the info before we land. So 129.700. We just have to hope that the ATC doesn't call us in the meantime, although we might do. So there she is. Was the right frequency. We got some NDBs there we could tune in. Let's tune that in. Of course, we check the RLS just to make sure the frequency is accurate.
1,000 to go.
Just listen to the ATIS.
-03 QNH1018 Hector. The passport. Transit 50. Acknowledge ATIS information Delta.
Information Delta 1018. That's pretty interesting. Wants us to slow down to 252. I'm not sure why. It's 18,000 feet. We have 60 miles to go still. That seems a little bit too slow for our altitude. Let's turn the panics back to normal. You see that the pressure is dropping a little bit. Cabin altitude has dropped as expected. We can now change this here to 18,000 feet. Landing altitude is still set. What are we meant to be here? So we got our reference speeds. So it is saying to descend down. Are we even going to get clearance here, or do we have to request their descent? I'm assuming we can keep descending and clear ourselves with the clearance. Information Delta, descend to 070, Aeroflot 292. Just in time there. Gotta hurry up about this. Let's go for a 2,500 feet a minute. Hope we can use the spoilers a little bit. Good thing we listened to the 80s, so it's QNH 1018, transition 5000. Get them on nice and early for the lights. Ground proximity. Let's just, so when we turn the inhibit on or whatever it is, like I usually just do this, but I think they actually want you to put it to inhibit mode, so you actually have to push those switches up, which I, rarely ever do. I just leave them open. Landing lights are on, passenger sign is needed, altimeter we'll put that lower down, and RMP, so that's the only things on the approach shot list. There should be other items, of course, flaps, gear for the approach. Well, I suspect that might even be on final. So we have landing ILS. Yeah, so here we have flaps and gear things, and that's a little bit more extensive actually. There she is, Aeroflot 292, looking magnificent. Cabin's dark though, isn't it? We need to get some of those landing lights on. So we go into here and we go into onto ground handling. You can actually select cabin light into landing or takeoff. And that will usually change the way it looks, so it changes the lighting in the cockpit and the cabin sometimes. So there you go, it's a nice green now, and it's in general quite bright, which is what we need.
Aeroflot 290 to continue descent to altitude 2,400 feet. QNH 1018, clear LS0 approach runway 24.
Continue down to 2,400 feet, QNH 1018, ILS Zulu approach, runway 24, Aeroflot 292. Okay, brilliant, ILS Zulu, runway 24 2,400 feet. Absolutely excellent. Really good instructions there. So he's given us the really good altitude, i.e. the approach altitude of 2,400 feet. Fantastic. Alright guys, this is it. We can start to get a little bit more prepared. We'll keep the checklists up. We want to drop a few more notches of flaps probably. Low visibility, of course, not only is it night time, but I think it's pretty cloudy as well here. We have got weather radar turned on. I did get it to work, but for some reason now when it is switched on, it won't show anything. I have asked in previous streams if anybody knows about it, but because I don't really know if it's bugged out or not. It should be working with the updates, but I've not had any luck. Right, let's try and get one notch of flaps just to create a bit of drag. And well, as you see there, the speed is 252. We can select VNAV and it will slow us down to 189. We have got full spoilers. Temperature 11, anti-ice.
20-25 по готовности снижать эшелон 110. По готовности снижать эшелон 110, 15-25.
There's the transition level, so we put Q9.
15-25, подскажите, у вас погода за 13:30 всемирного на борту имеется? Я готов прослушать, если есть возможность. Без 15-25 готов записать? Пишем. Подлинность 12-25, Барнаул, Тайс, автоматическая сводка 3 числа 13:30 Зулу. Ветер 250 градусов 1 метр в секунду. Видимость более 10 километров. Нет значительной облачности. Температура 7 градусов, точка росы 1. QNH 1018. Большое спасибо за дыхание.
Well, at least I can somehow understand what's being said. Obviously he speaks into English for me, which is really, really useful.
С вами пересекаем эшелон 230, набираем эшелон 350 без ограничений. 350-19 на сервис-контроль, здравствуйте, я тоже с вами набирайте эшелон 350, а можете доложить.
So when he says, he's saying Gradusov, Gradusov, I believe it's Gradusov, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, and that'll be the temperature.
Добрый вечер, пересекаем 21 тысячу футов на борт 370. Север 185, контроль, здравствуйте, вы опознаны, набирайте эшелон 370, точку Амоти, доложить. Продолжаем набор эшелона 370, точку Амоти, доложим, Сибирь 185. Nachtcyprus Control, W Aeroflot 152, Grantham Operation and direct to Amoти. Здравствуйте, Aeroflot 152, на связь контроль, Continue Grantham level 370, next report, waypoint Amoти. Report Amoти, continue Grantham 370, Aeroflot 152. Road 292, wind 220 degrees 2 meters per second, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land runway 24, Aeroflot 292. there's our clearance, guys. So now we're ready. We're ready to get in there. I can't see anything, of course, but we're doing it. Let's get the continuous ignition, and let's do the checklist. So we'll do the approach mode, perhaps, to... I think we can arm it at this point, or even select the localizer, and it would actually lock onto it.
5728, when ready, descent to flight level 180, when ready.
We'll leave it a bit longer anyway. We need to slow down to reference speed. If we go for V now.
Correction 5728, when ready, descent to flight level 180. По готовности снижайтесь эшелон 190.
По готовности снижайте эшелон 150.
Got the turnout lights on too, so you can see the wings nice and illuminated. I love flying for Aeroflot Airlines, it's a fantastic livery, and there's the Pobeda Airlines. Two of the best. Go for a 3 on the auto brake.
Let's take in the descent to flight level. When ready, descent to flight level 180. When ready.
Okay, we don't need this now, we got this clearance. Let's go for the ground charts.
5728.
I don't trust X-Plane, so we're just going to click tune nav 1, even though we've already done it. Sometimes it does cause issues. We'll go for VOR lock or localizer. So localizer is intercepted, and now we could probably arm the approach switch because the glide slope's coming up. Ah, it's locked on pretty much instantly. That's handy. And of course we'd like the plane slow down for the speeds. We've got 10 degrees of flaps, we want 15 for the approach. And we want gear down a little bit early, but better early than late. And we have a little bit of a crosswind there of 5 knots.
1,000 to go.
Missed altitude for this will probably be 4,000 feet.
485 максимум на 5 минут могу разрешить.
Yeah, so 21 or above, so it'll be 4,000.
На 5 минут отходите или остаетесь?
Сибирь 185, у вас вроде заложен, отходим на 5 минут.
Понял.
Ah, there we go, there's Barnaul down there. I am using SimHeaven custom scenery. I don't know if it extends all the way out to Russia, but it would be great if it did extend all the way out here. It does cover Europe.
Здравствуйте, Сибирь 501, контроль 2 опознан, продолжайте прямо на Амоте, набирайте эшелон 310 и Амоте доложить.
Continuous ignition, flap set, gear down, let me lights on, seatbelt signs are on. Clearance received.
Давление QNH 1018 гектопаскалей.
Off by Charlie, hopefully.
Решаю заход по узлу ПП-20. Эшелон перехода 9-0.
1,000 feet stabilized. Mr. Approach altitude, sir.
Продолжаю снижение до 4000 по давлению 10-18. Эшелон перехода 90. Разрешили заход и с поворотом
The VNav's not coming online, so let's just adjust the speed. 152. Can't see a thing, there's the runway. Let's get ready to take control, 1,000 feet.
Aeroflot 1445, далее на Honeycomb 128. Хороший вечер, до свидания.
Yeah, when they're pushing us off to the side, nice little crosswind. It's only 5 knots, but that's enough to do enough damage to the airliners sometimes. A reference speed, 152. A little bit fast, a little bit high.
200 minimum.
Well, we're a little bit high, but we'll continue this one.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Spoilers, reverses. Straight down the centre line. Straight on it. Maybe not perfect, but straight down. A little bit high at the end there. I think that was a good approach. Good approach. Couldn't see anything at all. The autopilot did it all. Reverse is stowed. Are we off at Charlie or did we miss it? I think this is Charlie, isn't it? No, this is Delta. Let's clear the runway. Anyway, good landing, good approach. Autopilot did a decent job at the end there. Smooth landing, welcome to Barnaul. Let's just go to the whole point and we'll turn some of this stuff off. Let's just stop there a sec. Strobes off. Probably turn the wing lights off. We can put our transponder to mode Charlie. We can get our flaps up, of course. We could clear up the speed and things now, or we could wait till shutdown. I like to do it on shutdown usually. Ah, we just turned the compass light on as well. That's handy. Turn the lights off, taxi lights on. We get the APU online. Check where we are on the map as well. So we come out on Delta. I'd probably be by us, obviously. What taxiway is that? Delta Mike. And then somewhere down there. I have no idea if there's any other charts. Let's look. We want a ideally ground parking charts. It's just going to come up with the same thing, yeah. So it looks like we'll have to make do with this one. Eyes off. Pitot heats can come off. Window heats can probably stay on. Aeroflot 292. Clear of runway 24. Request taxi to parking.
Route 292, taxi left, right taxi Mike, stand on your choice.
Left right Mike, stand of choice. Aeroflot 292. Thank you. Awesome. We got a little bit of choice there. So let's go down Mike. We actually had Mike at departure airport as well, which is cool. Usually we'd be Alpha or Bravo or something. We'll go down here, we'll probably park at number 4, 2 or 4. We'll take that.
Сибирь 5319, подскажите число маха текущее.
Точка 77, Сибирь 5319.
Сибирь 180, подскажите, какое число маха рассчитали на эшелоне?
Сибирь 185, точку 79.
Empty though at Barnaul, there's nobody here. I don't even think there's a... oh, there's the terminal down there. I was just going to say, I don't think there's any terminals here, but there must be. There must be if there's airliners, of course. A long taxi back. So there we go, APU's online. We switch to those generators, save our engines, and power the plane.
На 2 минуты разрешаю возврат доложить.
Возврат доложен, Сибирь 5319.
Новосибирск контроль, Сибирь 5311. Добрый вечер, под ваше управление в наборе эшелон 370 с курсом Амоти.
Здравствуйте, Сибирь 5311, контроль вы опознаны. Набирайте эшелон 370 Амоти, доложить.
Набираю 370, эмоции доложил. Можно отключиться минут на 5 с кабины?
Разрешаю вас разложите.
Будет выполнено.
Straight into the space. Perfect.
One, climbing flight level 360.
Здравствуйте, Siberia 5301 Nasirsk. Control identified. Continue climb flight level 360. Expect Natir UNKL arrival runway 25.
Hey, 1228, thank you to the gentleman for the services. Connected to the APU. What do we need to do now? So the checklist for turning it off is a little bit strange. So check the fuel pumps. Taxi lights can come off. Let's do a engine shutdown. Okay, moment of truth. Was it good? Was it bad? Ah, well, approach rating very poor. Landing rating 5 stars. Doesn't get much better than that. I think the approach rating was poor because we came in a little bit high on final at the end, but it wasn't that bad really, because it's doing the autopilot fluid. Anyway, we want airside services. We can now deboard, so anti-collisions. We'll leave the logo and the nav lights on, and we'll turn all the seatbelt signs and things off, and then people can get off and make their way to the terminal. We'll do a full shutdown today. IRSs and things could come off. Your damper's already off. In fact, may as well. I was going to say we may as well connect the GPU. And we can shut the APU down. APU bleed out and APU off. Let's get all the lights off in the cockpit as well. This is our final call today, Barnaul. It is 20 to 10 in the evening. It wasn't that long of a flight actually. It's just the ground stuff at Krasnoyarsk that took a while. And we squawked 7,000 for the next crew. Of course, we're going to turn these lights off down here. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful cockpit. Tiny though. Absolutely tiny. Emergency lights, and we can do battery off. In that case, we'll turn all the lights off on the aircraft. Packs on boarding. Well, it's time for us to go. I think everything is gone now. GPU can come off. There we go. I think everything's turned off, isn't it? Yeah, just double checking it. I don't think we missed anything. We probably have, but that'll be for the next cruise. So let's get off. Everyone's departing, deboarding, and I wonder why the stairs haven't come here, or the or just something to take them. The buses have come, but the stairs and doors didn't open. Only the back door, which was odd. How odd, they're only departing from the back. How do we shut this door? Close? I don't like doing that. I just say click on there, right? Click door handle. Well, that's it. That's Aeroflot 292. She made it. Trucks didn't come on automatically, or the cones, which I was expecting when you put the brake on. Yeah, she made it. We had a little bit of a failure there and take off from Krasnoyarsk. We didn't want to go with them, so we corrected it. Overall, pretty good IFR flight. Nice little flight there. And it lasted about 2 hours. So everybody take care. We'll come back in the new week with flight sim stuff, and obviously I want to do some more train stuff going forward, so we'll be introducing those as well, hopefully. Maybe the truck simulator again, depends whether it goes on sale. Take care, all the best.